Hey YouTube, 10-minute sports talk at hotmail.com. That's where you can leave your feedback. Today's topic is the NBA Mount Rushmore. Okay, LeBron James brought this up of who's on the Mount Rushmore of the NBA. I mean, it's a good topic, fascinating topic to talk about and give people's opinions. Why, who should be on it, who should be off of it. And this particular topic is more of a individual topic, as far as just basically narrowing down as close to who's the best basketball player of all time. There's a lot of different ways of looking at it. I think there's ways of looking at it such as like your starting five lineup. If you could have a draft pick and only take 5 guys to go against another guy's 5 guys, kind of fantasy style, who would you take and the reasons why? I know that doesn't really apply with the Mount Rushmore, so to speak. The Mount Rushmore is just the 4 best players, and it sucks that it's 4 when it's a 5-on-5 game, but it just depends on your opinion of just individual players. Most people are always going to start it off with Michael Jordan being number 1, and that's their opinion, and that's fine if they think that he's the individual greatest of all time. And that's fine. Now it's kind of who's bringing up the rest of the pack, probably, and I'm giving the opinion of most hardcore fans, more or less than my opinion. Okay, I mean, even the hardcore fans are going to say Michael probably 1, Magic Johnson 2, Bill Russell 3, and probably Larry Bird 4. And I mean, that would be your Mount Rushmore. I mean, a few of the ESPN guys, the commentators, are going to put guys up there, stat monsters, so to speak. Maybe a Will Chamberlain or Oscar Robertson or something like that. But I mean, generally, when you hear people talk about those particular players, I mean, that's what you're talking about. I think the more fascinating thing than the Mount Rushmore thing is realistically is the 5-on-5 basketball. Go back to the basics, and who would be your best 5 players if you could draft, and especially have a friend, you versus a friend. I mean, I used to do this when I was really little, when I got into sports card collecting. You take your 5 and I take my 5. Now, when I was doing this back in the youth days, it was, I want to say like 1992 or something like that. So some guys that you might have on your list weren't around then as they are now. So, but at present, guys, top 5 all time by position. I think we should be more realistic with have you achieved are you the best shooting guard of all time more than the best player of all time? There's a little bit of a difference there and a little bit of a mix-up there. I mean, my opinion, the best starting lineup is going to be Magic at the point, Michael Jordan at the off guard. It's really a tight toss-up between Larry Bird at small forward and LeBron James at small forward, and Tim Duncan at power forward, and Bill Russell at center. So, this last NBA Finals that we just went through, 2015, LeBron getting to the Finals, yeah, he lost another one, but he had a lot of injuries. He took a team further than I think most of the fans out there, most of the media out there expected him to take a team. And, because Larry Bird was so damn good, to be able to sit there and say that this particular guy's better than Larry Bird, I mean, that's a huge, huge accomplishment. And I do believe that when LeBron talked about his Mount Rushmore, I think he had Larry Bird actually 4th on his list, and actually had Magic 5th, which I've never seen Magic ever that low. So I don't know. It's a tough matchup. I'm going to go ahead and go with, Magic, Michael, LeBron, Tim Duncan, and Bill Russell. Okay, so those are going to be your top 5 for my picks. I think it's kind of an easy way to, depends on who you're picking against, but that's an easy lineup. I mean, especially even if you give somebody, like for me, if I'm doing that against somebody, some fans out there, and I'll always give them the first pick because they're always going to take Michael. And the reason why I say that is because of the backup to Michael Jordan is going to be Kobe Bryant. I do not feel that there's really much of a drop-off between those two games at all. Again, it's by a legit position. What position do you play? So, if you're picking against somebody else, and let's say their first pick is Michael Jordan, and then you take Magic Johnson, and then they're looking for the next position. So whatever they're going to take, maybe they take Larry Bird, and then you can take Kobe Bryant to counterbalance the Michael. And then, you got your next pick. You're going to have LeBron versus Bird. He's got Kobe versus Michael. The reason why I always want to give away that pick is because, hands down, most fans are going to pick Michael Jordan. And I'm always going to take Magic Johnson first no matter what, because there's never another Magic Johnson. I mean, you're going to have to, again, go to 10-minute sports, 10-minute sports talk at hotmail.com, leave your opinion why, and who can match up with Magic Johnson at point. I mean, Chris Paul's so small. John Stockton's so small. We've seen that. It didn't work. Anybody that played against Magic in that era, we've seen how it was, Isaiah Thomas, it was not a good cover. He would just post you up. Nobody could steal the ball from him. He'd back to the basket. He could pass over the shoulder. I mean, he's the greatest passer in NBA history, without question. So that's why I'm always going to take Magic 1. And in my Mount Rushmore, I have Magic Johnson number 1 overall because of what he does. I mean, to me, he's the greatest player in NBA history. And in the shortest amount of time. I mean, he went to 9 finals in 12 seasons. So, I'm always going to take him number 1, period, in my opinion, because there's nobody that can guard him, nobody that can match up. I mean, like, somebody would say, well, take Scottie Pippen to match him up. Scottie Pippen plays small forward, dude. It's by position. Okay, so you're going to have to find a point guard, that can match up with him. And I know with today's point guards, there's some guys that would be terrible matchups, like Russell Westbrook or something, where Magic would have to guard him. Not necessarily. I mean, we're not really talking about guarding, as far as defense. You can change that up. You can say, hey, I'd rather guard Larry than Russell Westbrook. I mean, you can do that on defense. It's when you have the ball. That's your advantage on the offensive end. So anyway, stuff like that, I always find that to be really interesting. Somebody else's top 5 versus my top 5. Your picks versus my picks. We go back and forth. Those type of deal. And, if you think about that, I mean, go on down the list. I mean, it's very difficult to, if you have these particular group of players, I don't think that there's any question that the starting lineups for most people is going to be Magic, Michael, LeBron, Tim Duncan, and Bill Russell. I mean, by rings, by all the accomplishments that everybody goes by, that's the 5. So then what's your next 5? That's the next question, because you already have Kobe at the shooting guard, and you got Larry Bird at small forward. So where's your power forward coming from? Who's that? Who's your next center on the list? Who's center 2? By stats, people are going to probably go by Wilt Chamberlain, but he did only get 2 rings. And then, of course, who's that point guard? I mean, who's the backup? I mean, who backs him up? Who backs Magic up? I mean, really. There's nobody that ran the floor like him and that had that size, that 6'9", 230, and was, smiling as he puts a no look on you. So, that's the deal there. Kind of the Mount Rushmore, LeBron's Mount Rushmore there. It's tough to put LeBron on that list, when he's still got quite a bit of career left. He's got 4 or 5 solid good years left, coming from 2015. I mean, all the way to 2020, he's going to be the man. And, he wants to play in the finals. He's already been to 6 finals in 12 years. That's awesome. So, well, like I said, 10-minute sports talk at hotmail.com. Check it out. Leave your opinion. Let's check out them starting lineups that you would choose out there, and let me know what you think. Till next time, we'll see you on the next 10 minutes.